The Icons of Real Estate podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters at Real Estate Marketing, Ardor SEO.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Icons of Real Estate podcast. With us today, we have Christina Swyers. She's a two times icon agent serving the St. Louis community. In addition to being a six-figure earner, she has a successful social media presence and is proud to call herself the digital mayor of her town. Welcome to the show, Christina.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm perfect, and thanks for joining here on the Icons of Real Estate. So usually how this goes is you need to tell your real estate journey, and yeah, I'm very curious to hear about it.
Yeah, so I have been licensed for 8 years. I am licensed in the state of Missouri, and I serve the St. Louis area and surrounding communities pretty much. I am a residential agent, although I just actually went through and completed some training and certifications on commercial real estate. For the last 8 years, I've served, residential clients. And I love how real estate has opened so many doors, not only for me personally, professionally, but also for my clients. I'm a true patriot at heart. I love the American dream, and I love helping my clients obtain that American dream as well. So my journey started with a lot of different jobs. In my 20s, I was a jack of all trades, as you could say, like a master of none. I worked in healthcare for a decade. I got in corporate recruiting. I worked with different physicians. And then I went through and I got my real estate license, and I haven't looked back. I love being a business owner. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I have 3 children, and I just love the flexibility and having no ceiling on my income and being my own boss. I would have to say is the best. 10 out of 10, definitely recommend.
Perfect. Yeah, if you have no ceiling on your income, you can see the stars, right?
Yeah, that's really great. And I think it also pushes us to just hit our goals, exceed our goals every single year. I think not, when you work in a commission-based industry and you don't have a ceiling on your income, the sky is the limit, right? You can take it as high as you want.
All right. And yeah, so how did the EXP land in your life?
So I've been with EXP for almost 5 years now. I was one of the very first agents in my market in St. Louis. A gentleman in my last brokerage, I was working at an investment firm, brought this company and the concept to me. And I'm a very futuristic individual. And I looked at the model and just decided that this was where I was going to go, because I had been losing money at my last brokerage. This company would allow me to also gain that, and then multiple streams of income from other avenues that I wasn't able to have at that traditional real estate brokerage. So that's why I ended up joining EXP.
Nice. An offer that you can hardly refuse, right?
Yeah, it's almost like they say too good to be true, but it's really not.
All right. So you don't plan on going anywhere?
I mean, unless somebody brings me something that does it better. I always tell people, listen, I'm very open-minded. I'm willing to look at anything. And I never say never. If there's something better than what EXP has to offer out there, show it to me. I love EXP. I love the relationships that I've built at this company. I love the production goals I've been able to hit. But again, I'm a businesswoman at heart. And if something makes financial and personal business sense for me to do, I'll take a look at anything. But for now, EXP is it. There really isn't anything better that I've seen on the market that can top what they have to offer for agents.
Christina, and I love that answer. I absolutely love that answer, because most of the people say, no, I'll never leave EXP. I'll never leave EXP. Plus, you'll never know. You never know what in 5 years things will change. One thing is, you can trust on the leadership of EXP, but you still have to be open to everything. And And thank you for bringing that approach.
Absolutely. It's
And
honesty, just to be honest, like about
yeah,
your business and where the direction it could go. You never say never.
that's it. And yeah, so tell me, because I really want to know, because I saw you consider yourself digital mayor, and I don't know exactly what does it mean. And I even Googled it. I even like went on Google and it's like, what does digital mayor mean? And I was like, I'm not finding any results. So like, can you explain me and the audience
Yeah.
what you mean by that?
So a couple of years back, about 4 or 5 years ago, I was watching something that Gary Vee had actually put on, and he talked about the digital mayor concept on becoming that in whatever industry that you're in. So my industry is obviously real estate. And so he talks about finding that traffic in the online space and capturing it. And that really, when people start to see you over and over again, you create this persona of being the mayor of your town, knowing all, community. People come to you for answers on almost anything. They ask you questions. You really care about your community. So much about your community. And as a real estate agent, that is so vital because, whether you want to be or not, you are in the digital space in 2022 as an agent. And if you're not able to get in front of the amount of people. That's where they're looking for homes. That's where they're looking, is on the online space. So if you can capitalize on that, it's going to make your job so much easier and much more organic in a way, because that's where I get the majority of my business is in the online space. So.
Nice. So you're the digital mayor, official digital mayor of
Yeah,
St. Louis.
I've won some awards, for top agent and social media agent here. I've been in a couple of magazine publications, but mostly it's because I'm willing to do what most agents aren't. So
Nice. And you can, of course, there's a long tailed answer to this, but can you tell us a bit on how did you grow your presence into at becoming the digital mayor?
yeah. So I started on Facebook. Facebook and Instagram are my two platforms, but I started with my Facebook business page. I started posting, going live on there, about 6-7 years ago. And that kind of stemmed into me getting more confident. And I was actually sharing like different personal development books that I was working on, different education for people when they're looking to purchase a home or sell their home. So if you can stick in that education and entertainment, go back and forth between those two things on your platform, which is what I did, that helped me grow a big following. And from there, I actually did a TV show for a year, and that taught me like the next level, which is, working with production, like videography, interviewing local business owners. And so once I did that for a year, had that under my belt, I ended up leaving the television show and hired my own videographer and my own crew. And that's what I do now. So every one of my listings, goes through, and when I leave here, I'm actually going to shoot for a new listing. I'm in the video. But take it the step further, what I was able to do, what most agents won't, is I was interviewing local business owners, so small businesses in my community in areas I knew that I wanted to sell in. And that could be anything from an ice cream store to a personal training gym to a coffee shop, and interviewing local business owners and putting them on my platform and combining their platform with my platform, and then doing this fancy thing called Facebook ads, right? Where we can drive and direct traffic. So then they're constantly seeing you on their feeds. And it's just funny how that works. It brings that traffic to you, and those people that are following you eventually will reach out if you're consistent enough to become, you turn those followers into clients.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you shoot a video with yourself in every listing that you have?
Almost every single listing is of me in the video. So if I'm not in the video, a full video production is still like done. Yeah. Very nice photos, aerials, drone footage, like all of my listings get top-notch service. And that's super important because that is going to prevent or have somebody come and see the property. You have to invest in this. It's like, it takes money to make money type of thing. You can't do this on a zero budget. It's just, I don't think you can.
No, only if you find a very professional camera on the floor laying down, and you find someone to be your slave. Maybe you can do it without
an intern. An
intern.
Yeah.
And then you just flip interns. Okay, your 6 months internship is over. I want another one.
Right.
Tell me, Christina, you have recently been involved. Recently, I don't know how recently, but more in the coming months, you have been involved with the world of blockchain and crypto and real estate. And here at the Icons of Real Estate podcast, we have not approached this topic, at least not very deeply. So can you, in a most briefly way, can you explain what does this mean in the real estate industry?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So actually, today I'll put my 5th listing on the blockchain, certified listing on the blockchain. Every single one of my listings moving forward now will go on blockchain, and they're going to be put on a blockchain with a company called Consortia or Consortia. The reason I chose this company after doing a lot of research on all the different platforms that are out there, because there are many, this is the only SEC and RESPA compliant private blockchain that is actually out there. Again, there are a lot of other competitors out there, but this is the only one that's private. So that was really, really important to me, because ethics and integrity have to be at the utmost of everything that I do in my business. And I don't know about you, but like, I don't want to be in an orange jumpsuit in jail. So compliance is like key. You know, we have a license and we can, you know, we have to be careful with what we're doing. So guiding the consumer and getting them to understand why we would put their listing on blockchain. What it is it's just a spreadsheet. Blockchain is it's a database, like a spreadsheet that's immutable, meaning it can't be changed. And I love what this will do for the consumer. Eventually we'll get to 10 to 14 day closings. So faster closings. Properties will be able to be fully underwritten before escrow money is checked. Every one of my properties goes through the certified listing process and uses appraisal technology. They get a floor plan, a scan, and they are desktop appraisal approved. So think of that speeding up the process. So it's better for our sellers. It's better for the buyers. There's more transparency. And every home will eventually go on blockchain. Will be like having a Carfax for the house. So you'll be able to know when the roof was replaced, when the HVAC was replaced, if there was ever a fire in the kitchen. You'll be able to know things about a property, and think of how that scope of these things, these minor things coming together to be able to change things in our industry. It's all good stuff. And this is where things are going, whether people want to believe it, it's in the future. Yes, now people are just starting to like get these, you know, the buzz about crypto and blockchain and these things, but this literally will change the entire real estate industry, and it's going to happen whether people think it will or not. I mean, they are predicting, Teresa Grobecker, who's the CEO of Consortia, has predicted 50% of homes will be bought and sold at digital currency in the next 3 to 5 years. And in the next 10 years, possibly all of them. So even if half of what she says conservatively is true, that's a huge market share. So agents need to learn this technology, in my opinion, so they're not put out of a job. I don't know. I think that this will just be just as important as getting your CE credits to keep your license active, in my opinion, where this is going. And I just see it doing so much good for the consumer, for the American dream. I mean, think about it. It will literally take offers that you're putting on a house. Cash offers will be the same as somebody getting a loan. That's a big deal right now, because we know so many consumers the last 24 to 36 months have been beaten out of the market by cash offers. This will even and level the playing field for more Americans to be able to have that American dream and keep home ownership at the forefront of everything. And that's Consortia's goal. That was the reason I decided to, you know, kind of put my stamp of approval on that company and actually get certified. I went through an 8-hour training course that they offer to get knowledge and to get certified, to make sure that I know what I'm doing for my consumer.
Yeah,
So hopefully that answers that question.
no, it does, and it does, and I think our listeners here, they may be some of them, they may be a bit dizzy, with the type of information that they're hearing, because it can be for some it can be a threat, for others it can be an opportunity. Is an external factor, and you choose what to do with it. So
Right.
if someone wants to be active in learning like you, like how can people educate themselves around this
Absolutely.
process?
Yeah, so they can do just the same thing I did. Like, this isn't any kind of secret, like, underground thing that I know that no one else knows. I was a beta tester for the company, and I was one of the very first agents. I was one of the very first agents in the country to put my listings on blockchain. I'm the very first agent in my state to do that. But now any agent can do that. If you go, I actually have a link. If you follow me on Instagram at The Real Christina Swyers, there's a link in my bio. You can go there and sign up at Consortia and get the training. It's right now, I believe it's $199, which is a steal. That was another reason I loved what they're doing here, is because they made it affordable for anybody in real estate, title, or the mortgage industry, because everyone's going to need to learn how to do this to be able to go through this training. And my favorite thing about it is they take it to a bare bones level where you can actually understand, even if you knew nothing about cryptocurrency or blockchain. And they have it set down in modules so you can understand from the very basics, like, what is an NFT? What is cryptocurrency? What is blockchain? And then moving on in the modules are, blockchain and real estate, blockchain and finance, blockchain in the mortgage industry, and title, like how it's going to impact everything. It's just the best platform, I feel like, that's out there. And again, we want to stay compliant because, this is very serious business. And so we want to make sure whatever we're putting our stamp approval on, it has integrity, as ethics, and, we're not risking getting in trouble.
Exactly.
Most importantly.
And I can imagine what some people is one is like, okay, I never heard about this.
Yeah.
And maybe my customers, they will never heard about this as well. So like, you already had 5 listings. Did you already sell any of those listings through blockchain? Like, sorry, I was just wanted to know. Sorry, the follow-up question. I tend to double the question because I get excited. It's like, how do usually the customers react to it? When you tell them about this?
Yeah. So since I've only had obviously 5 listings on there, I've sold 3 of them have closed. 1 of them is pending right now, and 1 is about to go to market. So I am able to put in the MLS and the agent notes that this property is on blockchain and is desktop appraisal approved. So what that means is that if right now a conventional loan buyer that is a 90% LTV or better, about 15% of those are able to be desktop appraisal approved. And that information is coming from the CEO of Remote Val, the person that is responsible for the appraisal technology, where they took over your phone and scan and use appraisal technology to do the desktop appraisal. But they said by the end of this year in 2022, closer to 50% of properties will be approved for desktop appraisal. So this is going to become more prevalent. So I'm able to put that information in the MLS. And then for the consumer, for like my sellers, I tell them all the things that I just went over with you. This is going to be better for us. And if somebody came to us and had a conventional loan buyer purchase your home that had an LTV of 90% or better, and they worked with a lending institution that allowed a desktop appraisal, we could get this done super fast. We could end up closing much faster than we could with the traditional model of 30 to 45 days. So that's how I'm explaining that to the consumer on the seller side.
And they all take it in the right way. I'm just imagining, of course.
I mean, they're confused too, but when I explain it the same way that I just did to you, I mean, it makes perfect sense. And I don't know why somebody wouldn't do this. I don't see the negative. The negative is people just don't understand. But I look at this as the same way as when the internet first became a thing back when I was a kid. No one knew about it. They were scared. They were worried. People were like, what's the internet? They're like, nobody's ever going to go online and buy stuff. Nobody's ever going to use email. What's that, right? Now it's our way of life. So think of blockchain, digital currencies, and all of this new movement as Web 3.0. will be our way of life. Like our children, will be their way of life. So we can either embrace it or we can, dig our heads in the sand and kind of get left behind, in my opinion, be a dinosaur. I'm not willing to do that. I'm willing to be a leader and embrace the technology. So I'm not put out of business, because if what they're saying is true, which I very much wholeheartedly believe, especially after doing my own research, that it is true. I mean, look at the Fed, like all these different coins, like they're trying to control cryptocurrency, like it's not going anywhere, so we can either embrace it, educate ourselves, and then take that problem, create a solution. And what can you do with that? You can profit from that. You can help your clients and stay in business, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Nice. And would you say is the same thing? I'm trying to get the whole information out of it, and I'm trying to imagine a question the audience might have. So would you say it's the same thing for listings that are for sale and for rent as well? Or does that come on in a different way if it's a rental?
Every single property will have a UPI code. Think of like how you have a postal code, like an address. So it's like your unique identifier. So whether it's a rental or not, like it will have that identification. So eventually, yes, every single home in the United States and eventually the world will be on blockchain.
That's unbelievable. And now going on of course you will I already know the answer to this question. You're going to say all of them, but if you could try to go really to the nuts and bolts of it, like is blockchain influencing any particular segment in real estate, like residential? Let's look residential, can be luxury, commercial, multifamily, short-term. What would you say you would have the biggest impact on?
That's a great question. I'm glad you actually asked that. To me, obviously residential is going to have a huge impact, but I think forefront morally is commercial real estate. And luxury real estate are going to have a huge impact, because what it's going to do is bring new products to market that we don't have right now. One of those products being fractionalization of real estate. So my husband actually is a CEO and owner of a company called BlockProp, and he will be fractionalizing real estate, and more likely commercial real estate. So think, hundreds of millions of dollars in resorts, and people will be able to invest in those the same way, investors are able to do that now. Only now this is going to open up, not just for accredited investors, it's non-accredited. So anybody over the age of 18 that has digital currency, then they want to invest, they'll be able to. This is just going to open up a whole realm of Pandora's box for people to be able to invest. And I see myself going that direction. I actually just completed a commercial real estate certification class last week. So I can learn and go into fractionalization in the next, 3 to 6 months with BlockProp. That is something I want to be able to offer my clients, because a lot of my clients are also investors, as I'm sure many other agents, they don't just buy personal residences. A lot of them want to invest. This is giving them another way to invest and get a better return maybe than they're getting in the market, the stock market or something else.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing, Christina. And thank you for bringing this up to the table with us. I think we're gonna rock some heads here. And,
for sure.
And so if I would ask you, where do you go from here? What are your goals if you're looking at 2022 and maybe a bit more ahead? Tell us about it.
Yeah. So as I just told you, I had a whole game plan set out. I just completed, the consortia training to get certified in blockchain. Now I'm done with that. The commercial real estate course that I just took and certification, I just took that. And the next thing I want to really learn, I'm going to deep dive more into commercial, possibly take a CCIM Finance 101 class, just because I want to know how to really get well in that math and analyze properties. And I'm sorry, my dog. I can hear my dog rolling around.
Good way.
I want to know how to really get down and analyze these properties and make sure that they're good investments. It's the same thing as always, right? Even though we're using a new product, like if fractionalization is the goal, a deal is still a deal if it's a good deal, right? So I want to make sure that I'm knowledgeable on that space. So I see that being a very big part of my future. And then just continuing to grow and partner with agents. I have agents all over the country, and in Mexico, I have a big team of agents that I partnered with. And my goal is just to educate and impact. So if I can help another agent and partner with another agent to show them how to do that, that's the goal.
All right. Perfect, Christina. Yeah. And if someone is curious about what you have to say more and they want to learn more about it, how can our audience reach out to you?
Yeah. So again, on Facebook, they can find me, Christina Swyers, or my business page, Christina Swyers Living. I have over 10,000 followers on that page. Or on my Instagram, I have over 13,000, I think, the real Christina Swyers. You can reach out to me, send me a DM, and you can find me. Or if you just Google me, Christina Swyers Living, I'm all over Google or our first page. You'll find me. You'll find me.
You'll find her.
Yeah, I mean, I can't call myself a digital mayor if I'm not one. So people should be able to find you if you're Googling them.
Amen, amen. Okay, thanks, Christina, and thanks for bringing that blockchain approach and for showing us what it does mean to be a digital mayor. And yeah, I hope you had a pleasure here at the Icons of Real Estate podcast.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too.